The drums had finally stopped, but their rhythm still lived in his chest. Muhammad Ali lay on the bed in his villa at Ensele, staring at the ceiling where a single fan turned slowly, pushing the heavy Zaire air from one corner of the room to another. It was October 29th, 1974, and in less than 12 hours, he would fight George Foreman for the heavyweight championship of the world. Every expert, every analyst, every voice with a microphone had predicted his destruction. And here, in the darkness of an African night, Ali was beginning to wonder if they might be right. The villa was quiet now. His entourage had finally gone to sleep, their nervous energy exhausted by weeks of waiting. The fight had been postponed for 6 weeks after Foreman suffered a cut in training. 6 weeks of mounting pressure and second-guessing, and headlines that grew more ominous by the day. Now the waiting was almost over. Now there was only this night, and then the ring. Outside the window, the Congo night breathed with sounds Ali had never known in Louisville or Miami or New York. Insects sang in frequencies that seemed to vibrate in his bones. Somewhere in the distance, a bird called out, lonely and strange, and beneath it all, like a heartbeat from the earth itself, the memory of drums that had played for him since his arrival. Ali Bomaye, Ali Bomaye. The people of Zaire had made those words their chant. Ali, kill him. They had lined the roads when his plane landed, thousands of faces calling his name, reaching for him as if he were something more than a man. They had drummed for him outside his training camp, danced for him in the streets, claimed him as their own in a way that America never fully had. But drums could not throw punches, and George Foreman threw punches that had ended men's careers in seconds. Close your eyes now and enter that room with Ali. Feel the weight of the humid air on your skin. Smell the unfamiliar flowers drifting through the open window. Hear the ceiling fan clicking softly with each rotation, counting down the hours until dawn. He had watched Foreman train. Everyone had. The big man hit the heavy bag with such force that the chains holding it groaned and swayed. He had knocked out Joe Frazier twice, the same Frazier who had handed Ali his first defeat. He had destroyed Ken Norton in 2 rounds, the same Norton who had broken Ali's jaw. Everyone Foreman fought fell like trees in a storm, and no one got back up. Ali was 32 years old. The years of exile had taken something from his legs, something that might never return. He could no longer dance for 15 rounds the way he had danced against Cleveland Williams or Ernie Terrell. The butterfly still had wings, but they beat a little slower now. And yet, here he was, in Africa, about to fight a monster. According to those who spent time with Ali in the weeks before the fight, he projected nothing but confidence in public. He taunted Foreman at press conferences. He predicted victory in 8 rounds. He shadowboxed for crowds and shouted his familiar prophecies. But in private, in moments like this one, the mask sometimes slipped. He had told his close friend Gene Kilroy, in a rare moment of vulnerability, that he had been thinking about how to survive. Not how to win, how to survive. Let your breathing slow now, matching the heavy rhythm of that African night. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel the uncertainty that even the greatest must face when they lie alone with their thoughts. Ali rose from the bed and walked to the window. The compound was dark, but beyond the walls he could see the faint glow of fires in the distance, villages where people slept and dreamed their own dreams. He pressed his hand against the screen and felt the warm night push back against his palm. He had been thinking about something, a plan that went against everything he had ever been taught about fighting George Foreman. Every coach, every expert, every voice of conventional wisdom said the same thing. Move. Stay away from him. Use your speed. Don't let him trap you against the ropes. Whatever you do, don't let him hit you. But Ali had been watching Foreman for weeks now, watching how he moved, how he breathed, how he reacted when his punches missed. And he had begun to see something that no one else seemed to see. George Foreman had never been past the 7th round. He had never had to dig deep, never had to find that place inside where champions go when their bodies fail them. He was powerful, yes. Devastating, yes. But was he durable? Was he mentally prepared for a fight that went long? And there was something else. Foreman's punches, as powerful as they were, came from a wide base. They were sweeping, looping shots designed to destroy. But if you were against the ropes, if you could lean back and let the ropes absorb some of the impact, if you could cover up and let him punch himself tired, the idea was insane. Everyone would say so. His own corner would panic. The world would think he had lost his mind, but the world had thought that before. Picture Ali standing at that window, the plan taking shape in his mind like a fighter emerging from shadow. Not running, not dancing, lying against the ropes and letting George Foreman try to kill him, absorbing punishment that would fell ordinary men. And then, when Foreman's arms grew heavy, when his punches lost their snap, when the monster had exhausted itself against Ali's will, then the butterfly would sting. He did not have a name for it yet. Later, the world would call it the rope-a-dope, and it would become one of the most famous strategies in sports history. But tonight, it was just a whisper in his mind, a gamble that made no logical sense, unless you understood something about Muhammad Ali that the experts had forgotten. He had been through worse. 3.5 years of exile, stripped of his title, banned from boxing, denounced as a traitor. He had faced the full weight of the United States government and refused to bend. Compared to that, what was George Foreman? Just a man with fists. Just another obstacle between Ali and destiny. Breathe with him now. Feel the decision settling into his body, moving from thought into certainty. Tomorrow he would not run. Tomorrow he would show the world something they had never seen before. Tomorrow he would teach George Foreman what it meant to fight someone who simply would not break. The hours passed slowly, as hours do before momentous events. Ali tried to sleep, but sleep would not come. He prayed, kneeling on the floor of his villa, whispering words in Arabic that connected him to something larger than boxing, larger than Africa, larger than himself. He thought about his family, his children, who would watch the fight on television from across the ocean, his mother, Odessa, who would be praying as she always prayed, his father, who had painted signs in Louisville and dreamed of his son becoming something great. They were all with him tonight, in ways that distance could not diminish. And he thought about what this fight meant beyond boxing. 2 Black American men fighting for the heavyweight championship in Africa, in a country that had just won its independence from colonial rule. The symbolism was not lost on him. This was bigger than sport. This was a statement about Black power, Black dignity, Black excellence on a global stage. If he lost, it would just be a loss. But if he won, close your eyes and feel the weight of that possibility. Victory would not just be personal. It would echo across continents, across generations. It would prove something about the human spirit that could never be unproven. The first light of dawn began to seep through the window, gray and soft. Ali watched it come with something that might have been relief. The waiting was almost over. The time for thinking was ending. Soon there would only be action, only the ring, only the oldest and simplest contest in the world. He showered and dressed. He ate lightly, as he always did before fights. His team began to gather, their faces tight with nerves, their voices too loud or too quiet. They looked at him for reassurance, and he gave it to them with a smile that revealed nothing of the night he had just passed. The drive to the stadium would come later, in the afternoon. The fight was scheduled for 4 in the morning local time, to accommodate American television audiences. Until then, there was nothing to do but wait some more. But the hardest waiting was done. The decision had been made. Listen now to the sounds of that African morning rising around him. Roosters calling in the distance. The compound coming to life with footsteps and voices. The drums beginning again somewhere beyond the walls. The people gathering to chant their prayer. Ali, Bomaye. Ali, Bomaye. He would not let them down. He would not let himself down. Tonight, he would lie against the ropes and let the monster swing. Tonight, he would absorb everything George Foreman had to give. And then, in the 8th round, exactly as he had predicted, he would show the world what it means to be the greatest. Let yourself drift now. As the morning drifts into afternoon, as the hours count down toward the bell, the plan is set, the fighter is ready, and in a stadium in Kinshasa, 60,000 people are gathering to witness what will become one of the most famous nights in sports history. But that is still to come. For now, there is only Ali, alone with his thoughts, feeling the African sun rise on the day that will define his legend. Rest now. The fight is hours away. The drums are playing, and somewhere in the space between fear and faith, a butterfly is preparing to sting.